Are we there? Are we live?
We're live.
Is live.
The stream is live. Hopefully, the old internet's gonna work today. The stream is live. We're waiting.
That's you.
It's me.
He's screaming. He's a screaming demon. Tell him, Johnny.
It's a Genrai minor.
Genrai. Watch this.
What do you mean a tuner? What's a tuner?
A tuna.
Good morning. It's still morning, right? Yeah, it's still morning.
Boom, baby.
What do you got, Sean?
What do I have? I have
a tuner.
A 1952 Fender Telecaster. And it's good. A tuna. No, this is a Les Paul Goldtop Deluxe. Well, let's more people filter in real quick. Goldtops are tough.
Goldtops are good. I mean, Goldtops are pretty sexy.
Gotta be a man if you're gonna play Goldtop.
You gotta be a man. Like Dickie Betts.
Who?
Who, what? Mayor McCheese.
Mayor McCheese. I just want you to know, you can go and find a Mayor McCheese McDonald's statue from back in the day, from like the 70s and 80s. And if I could afford one, I would buy you one and I would ship it to you because you deserve it. I want you to have a Mayor McCheese in your front yard. It'd be amazing.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just kept pulling out Goldtops?
It's just like
and we just stacked them up
dude,
everywhere.
I wish. I wish we had Goldtops like that.
I mean, you had one and I pulled one out. Man, I feel like you can see the check-in on this one.
Oh yeah, that one looks
really well.
Look at that.
Mayor McCheese.
I mean, what's cool too is these came from some of our good friends. This one came from Surrender. That one came from our good friend Kevin.
And there's one back there from our friend Larry. None of which are for sale.
None of which are for sale.
But we're either holding on to them or doing videos or something. I mean, I don't know. Would you rather have a gold top or a burst?
Gold top. Gold top me. I used to be the opposite way.
Yep.
I still, it depends on the day of the week, honestly. I can go either way. To be honest, in my mind, gold top or burst, that's the Les Paul.
Yeah.
All the other colors are cool. Black's cool. White's cool. Whatever.
They're not.
But like if it's a Les Paul, it needs to be. It should be gold or it should be a burst or.
Because like a custom is almost something different.
Yeah.
Then you can have black or white.
Oh yeah. Then you.
But that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your options: black or white custom, gold top or burst.
Well, and isn't it funny because like Stratocasters or Telecasters, take it or leave it. I'll take anything. Like you can give me some kind of crazy color, I'll probably play it. I don't mind.
Why is that? Even SGs for me.
Oh, SGs, dude. You saw those Pelham Blue SGs from our video where we went up there, and then the same thing with like the pink ones that came out with a while back. Play the hell.
But I will. My tolerance for an SG is tighter than it is for a Fender. I feel like almost anything goes on a Strat or a Tele, right? You can sort of any color, it's fine. But something about Gibsons, they just need to be certain colors.
Well, we got a controversial question about black pick guards on gold tops. Here's my take. If you're getting a Les Paul, that's the color. It's always this color. Always. You can take it off, but it's got to be this color if you go back.
Let's have a poll.
Sorry.
Poll in the man.
We went out and my take was too hot.
Too hot. Too hot for YouTube.
They were about to implode.
No.
I do feel that way though. It should be gold or it should be a burst. And I think we both could agree. We'll talk about this more whenever it comes back up.
I still think one of the best Murphy Labs I've ever played, or Tom Murphy maybe, it was that 57, that R7 we had.
I think it's good, dude.
You know what I mean?
It's the first time I played with all y'all left. That was fun. I played that guitar.
We're back.
All cream or all black plastics? I think all cream. All cream.
I'm a fan of cream.
I am too. And to me, whenever I see the black, even the zebra pickups, to me, I'm kind of like, I want them to be either covered or cream. That's just me. And I know that's a DiMarzio thing.
The Mighty Woodrow says the R7 is his Dream Max. I was just saying, maybe one of the best. And I don't really know if this was a Murphy Lab or a actual Tom Murphy or what. There was some question about it when it was here. This was a long time ago too. But we had an R7 that was just, God, it was good. Who was the guy? Some guy that was actually a touring guy bought that guitar, right?
I know that guy's name. His Instagram handle is Saint Lockhart. He plays in a band in Nashville that the Mighty Woodrow would love, but everybody else would probably love too. It's kind of like glam rock, so think of like the New York Dolls meets like Guns N' Roses.
Ooh.
Like it's surprisingly pretty good. I dig it. And whenever I met him back then, he was a cool dude. He could rip then, and he can rip even better now.
See, I'm with Generai. If you got Goldtop, you need the old nickel covers. Now, well, okay. I want to get two polls going in the comments. Covered or uncovered humbuckers? I'm always a fan of covered. I just like the look. I just think it looks sexy.
Same.
The other one, pick guard or no pick guard?
Ooh.
I'm a pick guard fan.
I was gonna say I'm definitely a pick guard kind of guy. This goes back to what I was gonna say.
Why though?
Well, I'll tell you. I feel like I saw so many Les Paul studios and Les Paul like standards growing up that would come without the pick guard. And
well, they do the thing now where they like for a while they did the thing where they were in the case and you could put them on if you want.
Yeah. I get it, and I'm saying cheesy just from my own subjective personal taste. Like I just don't. It's not me. You know?
I mean, I feel like I like my hand being able to rest on the pick guard.
That is nice.
But there's something about breaking up the wood grain that like makes it look even classier to me.
Yes.
With the pick guard.
Yeah.
And that's even if you got like a killer top. I mean, because you can still see the top, right? I'm with Eric. Covered and pick guard.
I can go either
I can
way.
see Mighty Woodrow. I can see you being
no pick guard. But you play so much, and I've seen this with your guitars. They get a really cool amount of wear right there.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, let's say the pick guard is off. I want there to be like a good pick mark area that fills up almost the size of the pick guard right there, like right in that area. And you get that because you're badass. You're a bad man.
John, we met John on Monday. It was cool to meet you too, sir.
Yeah, dude. You're awesome, man.
That was really fun. So thanks for coming by.
His is covered
on your travels
with the pick guard.
There you go.
This is like a cool little poll.
To
cover or not to cover?
To cover
in
or not to
all
cover?
realms. I
could be okay with that. The uncovered bridge and the covered neck pickup. Now here's my follow-up poll. I feel like there's some folks who would say it makes a difference in the tone. Do you think covered versus uncovered? Because I think Bonamassa thinks it does, and I think Derek Shucks uncovered like his bridge pickup or something like that. I don't know, but
I would want to A/B it.
I don't know if I've ever A/B'd one with the same guitar, right? Where I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's so hard to tell because different pickups sound different.
Yep.
Right. And I don't know. I feel like it would just be hard to.
Yes, I'm in the same boat because I've never for one thought about it too much, but now that I am, I'm like, man, I really want to hear that. Because another thing you should try if you have a Telecaster is covered or uncovered with the ashtray because that changes the sound. That's something I've wanted to experiment with on a record.
Okay, so we got some interesting comments. So Generai says, only the monster ear players would pick up on it, maybe. like Eric Johnson with his crazy hearing batteries. That was kind of my thought. Mighty Woodrow says, output, yes, not so much the tone in my experience. I could see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it heats it up a little bit.
I could see having the cover on it being between the strings and the magnets doing a lot. I don't know.
I can definitely.
It's just hard.
I definitely feel like there would be a difference. I don't know though, because if that is the case, I'll tell you this: I find myself liking covered pickups more, tonally, like the way that they sound more. And then if they're uncovered on a Les Paul, specifically just talking about Les Pauls, not so much. It gets, in a funny way, you talk about the treble, it gets kind of shrill. And I saw that comment roll through. I didn't really click that together till now, other than playing them and just being like,
well, that's what I wonder. You see a lot of higher gain stuff without the covers.
Yes, which I dig. I get that because especially Jeremy, he's doing pinchies all day, dude. He's a bad man. He's got his pinchy game on point, dude. I had to learn how to do pinchies. I'm still like not great at it. Like I can like almost get it all the time, but pinchies.
So, okay, so we got some good
takes today with this. What you
good
got?
takes with it. It's just that's the funny thing, and I don't have a like super hard opinion on this. I think that I like the aesthetic of the cover so much
That you wouldn't, yeah, it wouldn't.
well, because what everyone's saying, you know, that maybe it's slightly brighter, maybe it's slightly hotter. I don't feel like it's nothing you couldn't like overcome.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I can see that.
So I don't know. It's so classy looking. Like this guitar I'm holding, like I'm looking at it in a little
Oh, yeah.
our little monitor. I'm like, God, that looks
Well,
good.
especially once they get ate up just a little bit, you know. And it ain't even a lot. They just get a little bit where they get a little foggy, and it's like, ooh, I like that.
Mine on my 335 are getting pretty gross, but in an amazing way. The covers, tone metals are now a thing. Okay, that's pretty funny. Let's see. PJ says potted versus unpotted. Now that's true. That's a difference, right?
Yeah, that is a
Because you get the whole sort of like microphonic kind of thing going on.
Well, so I know you probably played unpotted pickups. If you haven't played them, they are loud, noisy.
You
loud.
gotta like ride the lightning a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like the feedback thing.
The
and
volume knob is all the way down, or you are like feedback and noise, and you just gotta rock. Like it's like 3, 2, 1, go. Like
I enjoy that. Where like if you
yeah.
stop playing, and then you know, there's something to playing like that, and that's an amp thing, right? Like that's maybe a argument for amps versus modelers.
I'm definitely in the same vein because like I like to get that. I want the guitar to be kind of like breathing on stage. Is how I'd refer to that. Where like you can always hear like. Whoa.
There's something really lively about that when you play a note and you got this thing underneath it. Oh, you know what I mean? Like in I mean you can do it with solid body guitars. I think that's part of why I like the Gretsch and why I like playing the 335 so much because you can feel it shaking around in there.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Well, it's
if you're loud enough.
I told you about that SG that I got. I don't know if it's because the wood has been able to dry out so much, but like that thing, I can like hang it off of me a little bit like that in front of my amp, and you can almost see the thing vibrate a little bit. It's wild, and like it'll be feeding back, and it's just kind of like it's this weird, slight like it's amazing.
Sean's been taking the spice. He can see things mortal men can't see. Like his solid by SG
I
shaking.
see what was. I see what.
Sean Atreides. The Quizash Hatterack.
Listen, we've got to go this way. What is
It's
it?
the only.
Like,
It's the only. You know,
What's
like
he doing? He's saying it's
Doctor
like-
Strange. But you know, whatever. What are you gonna do?
that was the only funny scene in that movie that I was like, okay, that's a little lame. And he's like, there's a small space. I'm like, okay, all right. Just calm down. Just calm down, hands.
Let's see. Somebody said, "Did PRS make unpotted 5708 pickups, or did mine just melt out from being on tour?" I'm not sure. I wouldn't have thought they would have made unpotted ones, so maybe they just melted out.
Yeah, I feel like Paul's pretty, you know, I would see him being a stickler about stuff like that. Like he'd be like, it has to be as quiet as possible, you know. Could be wrong.
I can see the uncovered on Fenders and covered on the Gibson. I can kind of see that. There is something cooler about the aesthetic of a Fender when it's you know, uncovered. I'm fine with that. Although, even on like a Telecaster with like we got this new shell pink Tele, it's Blackguard shell pink, Seth Lover in the neck, and it's covered. Oh my God!
Go read the description I did on that because if that doesn't sell it, I don't know what will.
Everyone in the shop. I mean, like we get cool guitars in, and so we're like, "Oh, that's good."
but
Blah
that's
blah.
like
That's the first one in a while that we've all been like, "Oh my God!" And you can tell everybody actually kind of wants it, right? If we actually could keep it, you know. But
right.
alas, no.
It's okay. Surrender has arrived though, and we want to
Surrender.
say we shouted you out earlier on. Not sure if you're starting earlier on in the video or not, but if you're right here right now, thanks. Wait, where's it at?
We got your new.
Look at that thing, dude. That thing is beautiful.
And it's not for the faint of heart or the weak-shouldered. Heavy. This man asked for the heaviest Les Paul they had
You know why?
because he's a man.
Because he's a man, dude.
Also, from our buddy
Uh-oh, we got Brian in the chat
So
too.
you're-
And
so getting
Surinder
some,
said that too.
You're getting some previews of what's coming demo-wise this week.
That's right.
Some videos coming out. So
That's right. We got old
Tom,
Brian in there. Tom, in there.
Brian,
Mayor McCheese.
10.2 pounds. You feel every bit of that 10.2
do,
pounds.
dude. Especially in the body.
When I opened it up and looked at the case when we got it the other day, I was like, whoa, man. Sean, if you're trying to cut back your hairstyle, you'll need a good popcorn popper.
Sir, I'll have you know, I've been rocking this hairstyle since I was in the 4th grade.
Literally, the day he walked in the shop, I was like,
I used to wear.
They used to wear this bandana thing, so it like popped out of there, and you couldn't tell. It was kind of like Guile from Street Fighter 2, if you remember. But
right.
I was like, wow, that's something.
And then I dyed it all blonde.
Yep.
I should find an old picture of that and share it with you guys. You can make fun of me for that. That's something worth making fun of.
The Mighty Woodrow is talking about these gold tops turning green. That is maybe the best part, the best thing.
Absolutely.
So pretty fantastic, pretty awesomeness. Yeah, I like it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Well, tell me a little bit about this thing too, because I am pod ignorant. So it's called the Pod Express. What do you know?
Oh my
so far?
God.
You know, I'm putting you on
Okay,
the
so
spot.
you know we're gonna look into this thing. I want to do another video. Deep dives is a strong word, but you know, like when we got the IR2, the Boss. I thought that was such a cool pedal, and I like the idea of not knowing too much. Like, I don't want to be totally ignorant about it, right? But if you've played guitar long enough, if you mess with these things, you have an idea about what they do, right? And so, you know, just getting on there and trying to see what the sounds are, just plugging it in. And I kind of want to do the same thing with this. But, you know, those first little kidney bean shaped pods,
Yeah.
game changers, and I kind of hate that word game changer. I feel like it's used a lot. But, you know, Line 6 has been in the game a long time as far as people trying to go ampless or trying to do effects or being able to plug into a little device that's not an amp and make sounds. You know, now we got Helix, we got Kemper, we got Fractal, we got Tonex, we got all those things. And then Boss comes out with the IR2 and says, hey, you can do this for $199. Well, here is Line 6's offering basically like a mini Helix in a little plastic box for $179.
It's such
Which is pretty darn cool. I mean, so you can scroll through presets in this thing. You pick the amp in the middle, which is like, you know, so you got chime, dynamic, crunch, heavy, lead, clean, special. I mean, you can kind of guess at what most of those are.
Yeah.
Then you set your effects. You got a reverb knob. You got delay, your distortion, mid. You hold down this little alternate button to set the gain, the mid, the treble, the bass. I said mid before I meant mod. So like you can put a trim, low, chorus, or flanger. And then you can save all those and then scroll through them with little foot switches. You got a tap tempo, got a tuner. I haven't plugged it in yet, so I don't know how the tuner works. I don't know where it shows you like what string you're on.
Where it tunes that. Well, I'll tell you, you know what this reminds me of? Surprisingly, it reminds me of like one of those Fender Frontman 20s, like the little amp. It reminds me of, that's exactly how that is set up.
Well,
But this is nice because
Right.
it has the headphone out. So it's kind of like the Mustang Micro meets the 20 and is also a modeler for a PA.
you could probably sit in your, and I think this is what our buddy Cinder's going to do with this. You could sit like at night with headphones and jam with this and be silent and practice, and I bet it sounds
That sounds pretty good.
probably about as good as anything else. You know what I mean? You could run it into a PA. Like I imagine if you're a kid, you know, and you're playing in church or you're playing in a band and you need to go direct and you can't do like a $2,000 modeler thing, you know, or even maybe even a $400 Tonex thing is a stretch because then you need, you know, you don't get delays or anything like that with that thing. This is everything
Everything in one.
179, and that's pretty cool. And I mean, you know, is it? And they say that it's got a lot of the DNA of the Helix, whatever exactly that means. But which, you know, obviously, so it should sound good. So I'm looking forward to kind of trying it and seeing what we can make it sound like. I know I really liked the little Boss thing when we tried it.
Yeah, this sounded great. I was digging that. To me, this is cool because you get
Everything.
a couple more options. I like the pedal aspect to it too. Where
Looks like they've
more,
raised it even a little bit.
Raised
They've
the
seen
bar.
ball, which, you know, I like. I don't know. I like little simple things like this. That it's not the all-in-one. You could like stick it in your pedal board, or stick it on your pedal board, or like. And I could see this being a really fun practice. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
if I
Yeah.
don't know, I could pick, and it runs on, it can
Run
on batteries.
a couple of
So
doubles.
you could throw this in like your suitcase or your duffel bag if you were traveling, and like in your hotel room, you wouldn't need anything. You wouldn't even need to plug it in. You know what I
Well,
mean?
in my mind,
Yeah.
you know, you and I both use like those Gator Transit cases. That can slide right in the front of that bag with a set of headphones, and you're ready to rock.
I keep a little Boss Katana Mini in my under the seat of my truck.
Yeah, you do.
Because, you know, like if I'm out traveling and I want to play or work on a song, it's just fun.
Listen, me and Jonathan do this thing on Friday nights. We go down to Sonic, we drop the tailgate, we pull out our Boss Katanas, and then we stack them on top of 2 Spark Minis.
Sonic
And then-
Katana Sparks.
We got a little, we call it a katana stack.
We ordered those lemonade slushes
Right. And then we just
and the
rip.
jalapeno poppers. Just let it go. Let it go.
Drink Budweiser. We bring our own Budweiser.
That's what we'd really be
Throw 'em in
drinking.
the bag.
Bud heavy, as Sean says.
Bud heavy, baby. I got that from Brian.
Or
He's
maybe a
still in
Bush.
there.
Maybe some Bush. I like the old Bush Light.
Dual wielding
Um,
katanas at Sonic. That's
God.
right, dude. Yo, chili dogs for lunch? I think we go for that. I don't know. Derek's never had a coney dog. I don't think. You have a foot long?
I've had tons of Coney dogs.
From
Listen.
Sonic though?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, dog! I know what we're doing today. We're
Listen,
going all
listen.
out.
So Elijah, my little boy, he loves hot dogs. Like, I mean, loves them, right? Like, the man is like a hot dog connoisseur. Like, he knows where to get the right hot dogs from. And like like which gas station has the best hot dog? You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
I love that. That's amazing.
He loves it. He loves a hot dog. And he likes Sonic hot dogs. But the other day, it's my little girl's birthday. She wanted to go to the mall in Charlotte to go to the American Girl doll store. I'm still recovering. It was horrifying. But we made it through. And, you know, my wife is with us. My mom is with us. So we're having a whole little family adventure. They go to get pretzels in the mall. And Elijah's like, I need, you know, meat. I need, like, food. So he and I walk into the food court. And there's a Five Guys. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, I'm about to spend $90 because Five Guys, you got to be rich to go to Five Guys.
But once you see it, you know you gotta have it. It's a
Well,
pain, man. Go ahead.
so he sees it and he sees, oh, they got hot dogs.
Yep.
So he got, it's like they take the hot dog and they cut it in half and they fill it with bacon and put it in the hot dog bun.
What?
So he gets it. He eats most of it. But being the dad, you get to kind of take the leftovers, right? It was life-changing. It was amazing. It was,
Now, what did they glue it all together with cheese on top?
you could have done that because he's an idiot. Not really. He's actually very smart. But he's very simple in his hot dog taste. So he just got straight bacon and a hot dog, which I can respect. But there was an option for cheese bacon dog, which I think next time I go to Five Guys,
I think.
which will be a long time in the future. But still,
Five Guys is so expensive.
it is insane how
It's-
expensive it is.
It breaks your heart. Like it breaks my heart going to Five Guys. I'm like, damn it.
Which
like,
I don't even throw it out as
$20.
like as an option, honestly. But
Not a realistic one.
no, it got to be like, you know, maybe if you got like a tax return or something, you go to Five Guys. But they do put a lot of fries in the bag, and that's nice. But anyways, I was just throwing that out there. If you're feeling great, you got a lot of cash on you.
I'm gonna pull a Baxter and have a little sidebar here. I just now remembered a dream that I had because I was trying to think of something I was gonna tell you this morning. I had this dream last night where I was like, "Oh, King Kong's real name is Richard," and that makes him King Dong, and then that led into the other phrases of it. I don't know why this was all a dream.
You had
that
a dream of this,
I had a dream
and you
of
remembered
this.
it. That's what's great.
And it was like, the dream was that you and I were having a conversation about it. I can't drink any more of those Mean Girl beers. That was
No,
insane.
probably
That
not.
was what
There's
tripped
a
me
new
out.
King Kong movie, right? Like King Kong and Godzilla coming.
Maybe that's what I
think
was
so. I
thinking
remember
about.
so.
I don't know. Wild. Anyways,
Which
sorry about that.
Leads
I don't
us
know.
right in
Right
to
into-
Analog Man.
That's right. I'm
What's
just
this crazy
obsessed.
thing you bought this week, Sean?
Okay. We went to the Asheville Guitar Show. You may have seen the video that we already put out on it, but
I didn't go.
it was unfortunate.
Sadly.
I wanted Johnny to go this year. It was super energetic. It was nice. Lots of people, lots of fun booths. I was a little disappointed. I didn't see as many of the effects booths as I wanted to, but at least not as many
Like they weren't there?
Well, there were some that were there, but they were just missing some of the stuff that I was kind of hunting for. Like, I only saw one Memory Man Deluxe, and I've been kind of like, that's been the next thing on my list of stuff. Like, I've never played one. I just want to be able to play one and see it. I've heard people say they're life-changing, so I wanted to be able to go and play one of those. I only saw one, and they had $850 on it, and that was like a little bit out of the budget of anywhere I wanted to spend right now. But at that same booth, this guy had like 20 of these Analog Man equalizers. I saw, I think, a Tom Bukovac video on these, and a couple other studio guys swear by them. They're like, it's like one of the coolest like clean boosts you could ever have, and then also just the tonal options you get out of it, right? Obviously, you know what it's like there. It's pretty loud. Usually, you can't try anything. So I was like, I'll pick it up and I'll give it a shot. And I've been really impressed. Last night before you got there to the Rue, I was doing some pretty cool stuff, like yanking all the bass frequencies out and like pumping up the mids and like tweaking with the highs just a bit, and you get like this really cool, not necessarily like a throaty sound, but like it made me think of like Queens of the Stone Age sounds.
Yeah,
that sounds
yeah,
very
that
like,
makes sense.
you know, the only word I could probably use is like cocked up, where it's like everything sounds very, you know, I don't know, tight, you know, on an EQ. And this thing sounded great doing it, especially pushing a deluxe. I was
That's
like,
cool.
whoa. So I've been impressed by this. I just wanted to bring it on here and say like, hey.
Do you think you'll use it live?
You know, I want to, and you pointed out something that maybe is going to be in my next dream and nightmare, is that dirt and dust getting into these fader zones. I kind of worry about that. So I don't know yet. Maybe. Like, it depends. If it's like a 5-piece band, I could see myself doing that.
I mean, people will use, you know, obviously use them
yeah.
live. I was just saying, like, I don't know if you guys, if you gig much, my pedals get filthy. I mean, like, nasty. And maybe it's the establishments I'm playing in. I don't know. But they get horrible. And I was just saying, I could see the gunk
too easy, dude.
going all in those little
like,
exposed faders. And we were like, maybe that's why they're so noisy.
We've talked to some of our friends before who, you know, we got a buddy who makes some pedals, and he told us, he's like, I don't understand how you guys get them so dirty. And I'm like, it's like just playing, man. Like,
well, what was funny is like the first time we had that conversation, it was right before you started gigging a lot with the Vital Exploit, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of disgusting. Well, you told me you didn't say that, but you thought it. And then the next, like, maybe 6-7 months later, you've been playing a lot of shows, and you're like, oh god.
I took my board apart, and there's like these like
bro,
big, you know, it's like you got black tape, and it's like gray lines. You're like, how did this happen?
It is nasty, but just the gunk on top of the pedals, just from stepping on them and like being your foot being over them, and wearing, you know, I usually wear boots or something, but I don't know, man, it's just nasty.
Well, especially the gigs we were running, like we do our sound check, but what's the point whenever we just take our boards off stage and stack them all on top of each other so that you can just run them in a row? You know, I mean, all that stuff, and beer and sweat and spit and all that.
Everyone's asking if you bought the 12-string.
No, I did not. It was $6,000, guys. I'm broke as hell.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, there's always credit, I suppose.
The one that I played, the one without the B-bender, that was hands down amazing. So, quick background on this too. Whenever I was 18, 19 years old, I guess, my great-grandmother told me, she said that she would go in halves with me on one of those as a vintage guitar, which was insane, right? And also, I don't even think she had any money, so I don't know how she was gonna do that. She was in her 80s, so she was a little senile, but I love her to death, right? She told me that, and I was like, I'm pretty bad about accepting things. Like, I'm like, no, you can't do that. So I didn't take her up on it, but I always thought about that. And seeing them, I always wanted to play one. And going to this guitar show, I was actually able to plug one in and play it, and played 2 of them, luckily, you know, and that's amazing. Both 66 amazing guitars. And yeah, looking back at it, I'm like, man, I should have been like, let's do it, Granny. She passed away a couple years ago, so now I'm like, would have had something. Her and I would have had something. I never would have gotten rid of it, but it would have been
that would be
something
kind of
that would be like an us thing. And they were like $3,500 then, you know, max.
Right.
And now there's 6, so it's like, oh.
Would have been a little easier, the price of entry. Someone said, I think it was Generai, as a millennial, I feel like our generation is going to be vintage pedal crazy over vintage guitar, because 1, prices, 2, the Pokemon, collect them all, build your own team vibe. I think there's something to that,
Yes.
and I think the prices play a lot into it, even though some of the prices on the pedals are prohibitive at this point. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think like
so.
we both know, and I know you're on a way huge kick right now of like collecting all those pedals and stuff. I know for me, there's something kind of weird that I want to own. Throughout my life, I would like to own in chronological order, like the whole Boss catalog. And just like even if I buy it and I play with it for a few weeks and then I turn around and I sell it to somebody and like, you know, not to like make a profit, just to be like, oh, cool, you know. That was my thought process with that CE1. I was like, I just want to be able to say like, yeah, I played one of those. They sound really cool, and then I ended up loving it. You know, that's the problem. You know, loving it.
That's true.
But yeah,
that is very true. Let's see. Gordon is here. Hello, Gordon. It's a joy, Gordon's comments.
What's up, boys? Sorry to hear about your loss. Oh, thanks, man. That's cool.
Yep.
The guitar and your grandma. I mean, yeah, that was a really good guitar. I can't remember the booth's name, but it was the same one that Derek was looking at the Jazzmaster. And so if we did say it at any point, you can maybe reach out to one of those guys. I don't know if those two guitars sold.
I know the Jazzmaster did sell.
Yeah.
Jazzmaster did sell. It's unfortunate.
Somebody, I think Kyle says, have we tried Dunable guitars? No, I have not. Mm-mm. But I feel like I've seen them, but I can't picture in my mind what those are. But yeah, maybe cool. I'm going to try any sort of guitar.
We like guitars.
Let's talking about, you know, the Wilco Jazzmaster.
Yep.
First off, that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
Not to make you sad, Derek.
but pissed now. Oh, we done got him fired up.
he thought about it enough to call the next day. They were like, it sold to some dude down in Charleston or somewhere. But
maybe we should talk about why you shouldn't let your wife piss you off.
Derek, she might watch this live stream.
I was gonna say, start getting calls. All the wives at home are like, turn that junk off.
What the hell's going on down there?
Those boys are a bad influence. But
well, you know what though? I'm a firm believer. All things happen for a reason. You know.
Yeah, so that's true.
I think you're gonna run across something that maybe you absolutely fall head over heels in, because you were like into that, but I don't think you were like
wow.
I've seen you like know immediately, like that day that you got that Tele Deluxe thing or whatever. You were like, oh, that's it, that's the one, and you ran and got it, and you digged it. You know, I think that's a big part of it. You know, everybody in the chat's gonna be like, no way, you're stupid.
Everyone. Shout out Derek running the ship with the knobs and buttons. Derek on the decam. There you go. Derek does make this all work. Like Sean and I just kind of sit here and chatter mindlessly. Right. Hello to Mike and Angie from Dayton or Vandalia. But yeah. Okay, so we got to check out Dunable. Perfect mix of Gibson and Fender made out in LA. We'll check it out. Because that's pretty cool. Have a good day at work, Phil.
I'm just scrolling back to see if we missed anything.
We do. So fun thing, we've got Jeremy the Guitar Hunter coming today. So if you guys watch his channel, that's pretty awesome.
Would be cool.
Some collaborations coming. So there's talk of a live stream. I think probably gonna do more shooting videos, but that means in the next couple weeks, check out some videos, probably on his channel with some of our guitars and with us hanging out with him here. Also got the folks from Yamaha coming. Yes. To talk to us today.
Yep.
Which is,
thing with
you know,
probably more video content, I would assume,
I think so.
Than live stream, but it'll be cool. Hopefully, I'm hoping they bring. I've been able to play Rev Stars. Been able to play.
Something awesome.
I own the $850 version of the Rev Star that I've modded, and I dig. That's a really good studio guitar. I would love to play like the higher end $2,000 one. I want to see what the pickups sound like and how.
Maybe they'll bring one.
I hope they do.
Willie Robinson, good morning, sir. Homegrown son, we hope you are doing well, man. I know you got some stuff going on, so good to see you on here. I'm glad you are, able to get on and chat with us. Pretty nice. A few pedals already cost more than a guitar. Now that's reverse engineering. Yeah, I think that's kind of wild that some of the pedals cost what they cost, but hey. Even Sean mentioned my love for the Way Huge stuff, and I'd like to own all the like sort of reissue Dunlop ones, but the real ones from the 90s are already, they're so expensive. I can't really see. That would be cool. If I won the lottery, I'd go buy some or something, but and I can't see using them, knowing they're.
Well, and that's stuff like, you and I talk about this a lot, like some of that stuff you get, and then I always feel like I end up regretting it later on, getting rid of it, because there was a point in time where you owned a lot of that stuff, and it's
Right.
it's tough though. I mean,
Well, that's the only reason I have a soft spot is they're the first like real pedals I ever had. Do you know what I mean? Where I had a bunch and I had a good like a pro like board.
That's me and Earthquaker. Like I was
Yeah.
so into that whole company. Like I was like, oh, this is the company that I love.
And I sort of wish I could have just put them in a box, you know what I mean, or have them on my little pedal shelf and have them. And I mean, the only thing, well, I've got the Red Llama. I've still got Aquapus. That is an amazing pedal, by the way. If you've never played just the reissue, big box Aquapuses are awesome. But I really miss having the pork loin. I'd like to have the Angry Troll. The Green Rhino was great. I don't care much about the little overrated special. I had that. It was fine. Blah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I want to have the
that.
swollen pickle.
Yeah.
But I don't really, whatever.
That overrated special, I don't consider it a part of the main line.
The saucy box was good. They just made some cool pedals. They were like relatively affordable. They looked awesome and they really sounded good. But yeah.
I'm seeing in here, Gordon says the Aquapus is indeed amazing.
It is.
I like that. The Digitech Vintage DoD are going to skyrocket in due time. I agree. I've got a DoD chorus at home. It's a really old one. It's like a tiny box thing. It's pretty neat. My buddy Tommy gave that to me a long time ago. Thank you, Tommy.
Adam's got a Fender Waylon Jennings phaser on the way. Those are super cool. Some people are asking what pedals are going to be vintage collectibles in 10 to 20 years. It's kind of hard now because there's just so many pedal companies these days, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them are mass produced. And
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? Like, I feel like we live in a time now where you're not having to, unless you're a really small builder, you're
Right.
not having to decide, okay, I'm going to build these 5 things. They're like, we're going to build these indefinitely, and if people want them, we'll bring them back. If people don't want them, they'll go away, and then if you want it again, I can build you one on the side. Like,
well, and
just
it's
seems
sort of
to-
like you just get your flavor, and it's just, if you want a phaser, for example, God, how many phaser pedals are available? I mean, like,
Yes.
I don't even want to guess, right? From like the Amazon Basics phaser to the Waylon Jennings to like any crazy,
Crazy
Mutron or like Chase Bliss or, I mean, there's just so many. I don't know. And I don't know. It's hard to know what things we're actually building that are like built to last.
Well,
Like you got those Space Echoes, right?
yes.
Obviously, they're pretty impressive when you look at them, like how they're built. That thing, if you take care of it and you can find the parts, it'll just go indefinitely. And even some of my high-end stuff that I have bought that are boutique, I've already replaced foot switches and things are weird and you know what I mean? It's like,
Well, and with that being said, too, if you look at, oh man, I was gonna say think about the pedals that come out now. Like, let's talk about the JHS stuff. And
Right.
To the same place, like some of the Earthquaker stuff that they do the limited runs on, right? Like I've got one of the Earthquaker Black Ashes. I have one of the JHS Germanium Boost, thanks to our lovely friend Jack, who was like, "Here you go. I want you to have this. I'm gonna keep it forever." But the prices on those at one point were $800.
good
Now
Lord.
they've come down to about $400.
Yeah.
And the same thing with that Black Ash. Those skyrocketed up to about $1,000 and then came back down to about $400. I feel like there's like an initial peak over that first year, and then I think they kind of taper off to more of a realistic place. Like, because that could change, because you might go to Reverb one day and there might only be one on there. And that person's like, I want $10,000.
Well, like, you know what I mean? And some of these pedals, right, are hot because they made a few and then they put them out and people think they're awesome.
Yeah.
And then they're not available, right? Most of these things people will forget about.
Yeah.
There'll be a few left over, maybe, like a Klon. Like, who would have thought a Klon would be like,
$5,000, $6,000.
Is the Rat boutique? I would say the Rat is not boutique.
No, I saw vintage rats at this show, and I tell you, I think that JHS video where he like went back to back and dissected them, and like was like, "There's no difference."
I mean,
I think that helped a little bit because, from what I can remember, there weren't astronomical prices on them.
well, I mean, I think the Rat is like the opposite of boutique. Like, all, you know what I mean? Like, they're just
Yeah, that's
sort
mass
of,
produced.
and it's utilitarian kind of thing. The Proco, the whole idea of it. I don't know.
Here's what we got to talk about.
But maybe that's what pedals are supposed to be.
Tell me what you know about a harmonic percolator, because that's my new.
I know zero about
You
a
know zero about this?
harmonic percolator.
Okay. I'm into weird stuff. Steve Albini. Okay, you know who that
Okay.
is?
No.
He's a producer.
Okay.
He did Nirvana's In Utero, and he's
Okay,
done all kinds
all
of
right,
underground
gotcha,
stuff. He's
gotcha.
a weird guy, you know, really
Tracking now.
crazy dude.
Yep.
I watched this video where he was talking about it, and it led me down this crazy rabbit hole. And there's like a cult of harmonic percolator users, and it sounds insane. I want to play one. Land Devices makes one. They call it the HP2.
So what's it doing?
It's like a drive thing, but the idea is that the harmonic frequencies, from what I can remember from the video right now, the other videos I saw, is that as you turn the knob up, it can like clean up a lot, and then as you go the other way, all those frequencies harmonically in sequence, like it basically carries a sequence, right? So if and I'm thinking, I might be thinking of this wrong, and somebody in the comments can say, Sean, you're an idiot. You're probably already saying that anyways. Let's say you know that 440 hertz is A, right?
Yep.
That sits in a frequency range, right?
Sure.
Well, 880 is A as well. That's the octave up, right?
Okay.
So I think it peaks on those harmonic frequency points. Now, it could also be a harmony of that. So if you're playing A to C, E, A.
Well, so it's just like all the
Yeah.
resonant.
The resonant
things,
frequencies,
right.
yeah. And I'm probably describing all this wrong, and I probably have my head on wrong about it, but I'm pretty sure it sits close to that. So it's going to do many things like that, where it's
All
a
the best
feedback
things.
machine. It does all kind of. It's amazing.
I'd like to try one. It'd be kind of neat.
I'm going
you know?
to hunt one down. There was this crazy guy who lived out in one of those middle of nowhere states and made these things for a short time, and people got their hands on them, and they were like, it's amazing. Now people are making their own like side ones. So I'm digging it. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna make that a thing for me at least. I'm like, that seems awesome. Like, it sounds awesome. It looks awesome. I'll show you the video.
That's
once
cool.
We get off the
It's pretty
stream.
cool.
It
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
I like it.
Harmonic percolator, and here I am.
The
blasting it out.
harmonic percolator. It happens.
Sounds sexy, Gordon says.
It happens.
It does
Just
sound
because it is. It sounds that way because it is. You know.
I'm seeing if anybody else. Cult of Tone. I like that genre.
Lots of great puns.
I was hoping somebody in the comments was going to be like, have you ever played through a Leslie? I have not. I've been offered one, and I didn't have the money at the time to do it. And also, like, it's hard to find the space for them. We were talking about our Leslie pedals last night. I play a pinwheel, and Jonathan plays the MD200.
Which has
Put that
a
in
rotary, on there. I love that sound.
So good.
The more I mess with it, the more I really enjoy it.
So good. I played some keys too, and mainly synth. I wouldn't say that I play keys.
Right.
I make sounds on stuff like that, right? I want a Leslie. You want a Leslie. One day, we'll go and buy a Leslie, and we'll set it up at the roof.
I mean, when I saw the little Joe Bonamassa thing, I think he has the little Mesa Boogie, like Leslie cab made for. But it'd be cool to have an old one converted. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan, kind of, I have a buddy that's a madman and has 4 Leslies.
I hope he has them all on at the same time, and they like are at 4 different corners of the room.
Wouldn't it be really funny if they synced up just right, where it totally canceled the Leslie effect? Like you had a speaker facing you at all times. You know what I mean? You're like, it's not working. It's not working. Like it's out of phase, and that makes it actually in phase, and makes it actually just normal sound.
One sound.
Like, this sucks.
Man, this blows.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're organ speakers. They're the things they turn, They rotate the horn, and everything spins, and you can control it with the foot pedal, how fast it turns.
Now, but
So,
like you were probably going to say, I think what Generous thing is too is you can modify it and make it to where a 1/4 inch will go into it, and you can run a guitar into
right.
it. That's how they did it back in the day. At least you had to make a mod to it. There's been options that have come forth that are solely just for guitar. Usually, I think like the Vibratone was that.
Oh yeah, no, they make them now for guitar,
yeah.
but a lot of people, like you said, converted the old Leslie ones, the old Hammond Leslies or whatever. And I don't really know, guy, you could fashion a Leslie speaker from an old washing machine. I'm sure you
Absolutely
could.
The trick is and I've been offered some of the different cone stuff that they make. Somebody had some of these in like the back of a truck once, and so I don't even remember how this happened, but they had all these styrofoam cutout pieces that were meant for that, and they're meant for those old Leslies that you could drop in and change the sound of it.
Oh, that's neat.
It was pretty cool. Once again, that was a situation where I just didn't have the storage space at the time.
Right.
So, like, there's so many things that I would love to have like accepted, but
Here's the thing about having that, right? Like, so I have the rotary pedal on my board that does the Leslie sound. And in a 3-hour show, I might step on it twice.
I leave it on all night, brother. I'm kidding.
But I'm just saying, so like it'd be hard to justify unless you were like, had roadies and a touring rig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you like are really setting up in a theater or something every night. It'd be hard to justify having an actual Leslie. I mean, it'd be awesome, but I would be more likely to bring 2 amps before I brought Leslie I was going to use twice. You know what I mean?
And in my mind too, that's where I say like in a studio setup, I would love to have one. You can keep it maintained. You can
That would
keep
be
it
super cool.
climate controlled.
Yeah.
You know it's probably not going to be breaking down every time you load it and unload it. You know, but I'm also running 2 pedal boards right now, just for the sake of the fact that one day I will die, and I don't want to look back and say I didn't run 2 pedal boards because I thought it would be a pain in the ass. So I don't know. Who knows?
Jinrai agrees. The Rotovibe is really good. That is a great Leslie pedal. It's pretty fantastic. Yeah. I like the idea of putting a Princeton in a dryer. That would be pretty funny. Stringing it.
I didn't think about it like that, like just like leaving it in there. Turn it up.
Now, and I mean, a real Leslie is just amazing sounding, and a real Leslie, even with a keyboard, right? Like any kind of. I mean, if you got a real B3, that's like next level. But even like even if it's just a MIDI controller or like a Nord or something with the Leslie, God, it's awesome sounding.
I mean, it's hard to beat the real deal, and I've been lucky enough to at least hear somebody play the real thing on keys. Mm-hmm. Wow. Every time I'm just like, wow.
It is.
And funny enough, I did a tracking session for my buddy Cliff a long time ago. Go check him out. He's on Twitch. He's on YouTube. We're gonna plug Cliff real quick. Cliff Stallings Music, I think. If you look him up, he's great. I did 2 recordings with him though, and one of the recordings we were talking about, I was like, let's go all out on this one. Let's do crazy production on it and stuff. And I was like, you want to add like organ and stuff? He's like, I don't know. What's it gonna sound like? And then we talked on it more and more, and he's like, yeah, let's do that. So we sat there for like 3 hours one night. And I was going through organ sounds, and I was playing stuff, kept playing on and on. He's like, it just doesn't sound right. I don't know what it is. Like, we went back and forth all night. And then finally I realized, I don't have the rotary effect on. And I hit the rotary effect, and I play the first chord. He's like,
That's it. That's the one.
I was like, that is it.
I mean, there's just not many things that sound cooler than that. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, almost any song you could just put that as the pad underneath.
Oh.
And it's
10 out of 10. I mean, every time. I would argue there might not be a genre of music that it wouldn't work with. I think you could do it in death metal, and you could make it work. You add an overdrive pedal to that, and then it's going into a Leslie, and it's like,
it's like some John Lord kind of, Deep Purple kind of stuff.
That up, dude. They'd be like, hell yeah.
Well, it's already just such a like rock and roll sound. Me and you did that. Sean helped me record one of my songs, and I sat and just played Leslie, But
it's great.
It's just
it just works. Yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty cool. We had Greg Alma's B3 and a Leslie as backline for a festival. It's kind of fun. Probably one of the more famous Leslie rigs, I would imagine. The good old.
What?
I know. Crazy.
Almond?
It's because he was married to
Greg
Cher.
Almond?
That's why. That's why he's famous. What are you gonna do?
You believe in life after love?
Time to make Leslie's. I don't know that Leslie's ever stopped being great, Gordon.
I agree with that.
Leslie's
I don't know if
have
there
always
was
been great.
ever a moment. Like, think about all the other things that had lulls, like tube amps and vintage guitars and
Accordions.
stuff like that. Accordions. They've been dragging since.
Dragging ass.
I asked my grandma, I said, you never learned to play a single instrument? She's Italian, so this is the most Italian answer you could possibly have. Oh, I learned how to play the accordion.
Well, apparently there was a point in time before the guitar took over popularity that like college kids instead they didn't learn. You know, like it was a thing for a while. If you went to college, like every college dorm had a guitar. Apparently before that it was the accordion. Like there were accordions in people's attics because there was this crazy, accordion thing. And is it Guitar Center that started? It was like an organ company.
Yeah.
Like Thomas Organ or something like that, and then they started the first Guitar Center. Something like that. I might be confusing thing or smushing things together, but yeah.
I think organs are a sound too, with Leslie's in that way that have stayed they've stayed at like the same level. Like there's not been like a crazy peak. There's not been a crazy drop. I just feel like it's been like this.
Well, then when you find a guy who can really play, it's funny, right? Because nobody pushes to be like, I'm gonna be a great lead organ player. You know what I mean? Like but everybody wants them. But you just don't think about it when you're learning instruments. Like, man, I should just learn to play keys and be a badass, B3 player.
If I say the name The Doors, you don't immediately think of that great guitar tone. You go bum 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 bum. Like that's what I hear at least. I hear that all day. I don't hear any of that slide guitar parts and any of those things. It is crazy to think that guy was playing guitar for 6 months and then wrote Light My Fire. That's insane.
Gordon's like, yeah, we have an accordion in the attic. I mean, why not? Clapton solo in Presence of the Lord when he was in Blind Faith? Yes. Strat with a Crybaby through a Leslie. Whew. Go listen to it. Mary McChee says massive pipe organs also sound amazing. They really do. Kind of amazing. Yeah. But,
Val Kilmer was my favorite member of the Doors. Understandable.
Grew up half Polish, and you'll get your fill of accordions via polka. Derek probably knows a little bit about that.
Robbie Krieger, cool though.
Until you hear him play
the
national anthem in the hockey jersey. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor. Go watch it right now. Quit this.
Dude.
Click off us. Go watch it.
While we're talking about the Doors, I heard, for whatever reason, I was driving that Explorer. That's what it was. I bought not a new car. It's like
2024 Explorer.
2024. That's right. That's what held me on from this 12.
1997.
I grew up with a family that always had a second car. So for me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get another car. And I came up on a really great deal, a deal I could not refuse. My grandfather and my uncle found it, and they were like, hey, this is the one, Hoss. You need to get it. If you don't, you're gonna miss out. So I get it. I'm driving it back home. And a live version of The Doors came on the radio because it's just got a normal radio in it, right? I listened to 105.5, and it was a live version of Roadhouse Blues that was insane.
Like a badass. Oh yeah, I'm not hating on Robbie Krieger. I just think the thing is hilarious.
That is hilarious. I'm just saying, I thought less of him, and then I heard this song, and I was like, holy shit! I
empathize. I was like, God, this could happen to anyone,
And I thought about that thing of him like only playing for such a small amount of time, and when that recording probably happened, I was like, that's crazy. Like it was really good.
Roadhouse Blues is pretty badass. The stuff he plays in Roadhouse Blues is even the actual recorded version. Now, pretty fantastic.
I am totally blank. Jim Morrison.
And I'm not. I'm going to say this despite the hate that's going to come. I don't really love the Doors. I've never been like a huge. I mean, there's a few things I like, but I just not.
Same.
I'm not a crazy Doors.
That's also why I was so surprised. I was like, oh man, this sounds amazing, right? And then the, Jim Morrison singing these words. And then there's a whole verse where he's just like, up and up and up and up. Like you can hear it. Like he's just rattling nonsense off. It's great. It's like, okay. We'll just let it go.
I mean, let's see. I miss seeing.
Oh, Gordon is pissed.
Gordon is pissed. I'm sorry, Gordon. I'm sorry. And then Fuzz Funk keeps yelling at us about the Fender Mexican Custom Shop. Just buy Mike McCready. That's Fender Mexican Custom Shop right there.
Seriously. And that's a great guitar. Do it, dude.
There you go. You're done.
It's rolling through now.
I'm sorry, everyone. I don't hate them. I just,
Jim Morrison was the real deal. That's great. I like that, Mary McCheese.
Maybe that was my immaturity. Maybe I need to go. I will.
Mine is $30.
Dang it! All right.
That's hilarious.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go this weekend, and I'm gonna list because I've actively maybe actively avoided is the wrong word. I'm going to go listen to the Doors all weekend. And maybe I'll be like, wow, I've missed out.
I'm going to do the same. Next Wednesday on the live stream, let's have a Doors conversation.
Okay.
Let's walk through the door.
Oh my God, we should do it. We should do like a one night only at the Sunrise, like Through the Door, a tribute to the Doors.
We get like those, those like
Right.
talks where it's like two people like, I won't say who it was. I can say who it was. We went to go see Jordan Peterson years ago, just because we were like, let's go do something silly. We go and see him, and you know how they had those two black couches set up? I wanted to be like that, where it's like us sitting on those.
Just sitting there, legs crossed, little table, and then we just
So what he did there? What did he do
like
there?
horribly overanalyze what's happening.
So I think he was playing the minor pentatonic scale. Did he know that? No, I don't think so, because he would not have played that flat 7, nor would he have played a flat 6,
Never.
or a flat 5.
Never.
It's like he just kept flatting notes.
Everything's flat. Suddenly you're just in a different key.
Yeah, I was like,
what
oh,
happens if
wait.
you make everything flat? All
Wait
of
a
that.
second.
Oh yeah. Damn it.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Dang it.
People are gonna like.
But it's not,
riot.
I just don't know. And what's funny is I don't know. I just need to go listen to the Doors. I don't know what about it. You never talked about the Goldtops. We started with Goldtops.
We did.
No, we didn't really talk about them, I guess, but we were holding them.
I mean, what's more to say? We talked about the pickup covers.
Why do you think?
Okay.
Why do you think? Like obviously Goldtop in '57, right? And Goldtops before that. What do you think about the burst in '58 and '59 made people suddenly go, "Wow, that's it. That's the one." Do you think that happened at the time? Do you think it's later looking back?
I'll tell you why. You ready? The same reason why they went with TV yellow. At that point in time, everything was black and white. All printed, I won't say all printed ads, but you got to think, for the majority of stuff, it was really expensive to print in color. I would assume they probably would print out pictures and ads and stuff. And what do you see? You just see a guitar with probably like grayish top.
Yeah.
The flame top, no matter what color it's in, you're going to see a ring around it.
Pretty neat, yeah.
And it's going to have like some jump to
Right.
it. And I think on top of that too, they saw what Fender did with the Stratocaster and the Sunburst, and they were like, oh, we're screwing it, Because that pops out too in a magazine back then. That gives you some dynamic range, visually.
Yeah, I could go with that.
That's my take. Could be completely wrong. They could have just been like, people just love the flame top look and seeing it in person. But that's what I would say. In the same way, like I said, with TV yellow and all that stuff, and makes sense. I don't know.
Gold bottoms. That's a whole different condition.
We can't talk
That's
about
a different
that on the
thing.
live stream.
No.
Call us and we'll let you know.
Whew, big words. The Doors were better than Zeppelin. Man.
Okay.
Now, Mark says the
Come on,
Doors are
Jeremy.
part of my soundtrack while growing up, like Creedence Clearwater. Now, I love Creedence.
All right.
I love them. And
Well,
in
let me ask
fact,
you this. Would you say they're better than Zeppelin?
they're just different. I don't think you can compare because, Zeppelin is such a riff, just, I don't know. It's just something really tangible and it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then Creedence are like these great short songs, which not all of them. Then you got these things. I don't think people will realize they jam on through the grapevines, like however many minutes long, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. Like, it's almost like, in my brain, they come from this older tradition that's more like a little grounded in rootsier, folkier stuff.
And in a
some
weird
ways.
way, Creedence has this thing where, and I don't feel like I really got this from playing some of these songs with you or watching you play them at least. They do this thing where somehow it's not like they're doing a lot, but they're doing everything just right so that it feels
It
so
just fits
much
right.
space.
Well,
Born on the Bayou. You hear that and it just sounds huge. But then if you dig into how many tracks are on that, it's not like it's a nuts amount. It's like just the right amount.
Jen Rod says, pardon, my hall speak came out. We're all about hall speak here.
I like hot takes. I like whenever people do hot takes in the comments like that. They're like, I want to hear that you like the Doors more than Zeppelin. That's cool. That's a neat take. Everybody's gonna say,
I just saw the actual comment. God, this is why I love live streams. But free bird, play free bird. But I don't know. Well, there is some truth. Like Jim Morrison is definitely unique in that thing where, like, you could say Zeppelin is very.
I would say I get what you're saying with like that, but you can't tell me that Robert Plant wasn't like a phenomenal, like frontman and singer.
And a unique, like once in a generation kind of talent,
voice,
like for that, you know what I mean?
I mean, his voice at that point in the '70s, and sure, did it last? Probably not, right? But wow, like you try and hit some of those notes, and you're like, no way, not a chance, dude. That it's insane.
Well, and I mean, and just I don't know, and the CCR just lives in a different world for me. But what you're saying about the CCR songs, like to me. Some of those songs, and maybe this is sacrilege, but like we take them like Born on the Bayou and like Fortunate Son and turn them into these like slightly faster, right, rocked up kind of jams. And I just think they're kind of perfect for that, right? It's sort of like Bob Dylan songs, when you hear like I'm not saying I'm like Jimi Hendrix, but it's just a good vehicle
for that.
To kind of do what you want to do with them, and I think that's a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
I guess I can see that. That's cool.
But the CCR stuff, I don't know. It's just different.
Well,
They all had their certain little edge. It was cool.
What would you put them in Southern rock territory, or would you put them in more of that rootsy rock thing that you're saying? Because I feel like they don't necessarily live in the same space. Like they're akin to like a Leonard Skinner and an Allman Brothers, but
not really to me.
Totally different.
They just have a totally different vibe. They live in a totally different feel. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I just I wouldn't call them Southern rock. They're just like just an old guy. Al Adolphson just says CCR songs. They're just feel good songs.
They are.
But they have the kind of darker like protest like kind of things.
Yeah.
And then they have things like Bad Moon Rising.
Great song.
It just feels good, right? Looking out my back door, it just feels good.
What's cool to me too is how many records do they have? I don't know this off the top of my head. I think it's like
I
3.
I don't know either. There's the whole thing famously where what's his name?
John Fogerty
told the rest of the band that if they wanted equal everything, they better write a third of the record or a fourth of the record. And then that record kind of sucked, except for the songs he wrote. So you know what I mean? It's like I get that.
How much must that suck? It's like, see, I told you, we could add another hit. And what'd you do? You blew it.
And then some of his solo stuff is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
But Foghat.
Foghat.
That's hilarious.
Molly Hatchet, Foghat, Golden Earring.
There's a town in Kentucky, like northern Kentucky, that my bass player is sort of from, and they were having like their version of First Friday kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like a big outdoor free concert series for the town. And they were thinking about booking us because he had messaged them, but they were also thinking about booking Foghat. And it was the same. They were going to pay Foghat the same thing they were going to pay us. And I was like, you don't book Foghat. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to go play the gig, but I was like, this shouldn't be a thing.
That's pretty wild, right?
I think they ended up not booking anyone, but it was, I just thought it was fun that we were even in the, do we want Jonathan Robinson or do we want Foghat? You want Foghat.
No, I think, well, I would take you, dude. I would take Johnny every day. I'm going to throw out another hot take
Foghat's
for
kind of
you.
awesome.
Just to maybe even cap us off here in a second. The Who sucks.
Thanks for saving me there.
We were talking
Thanks
about
for saving me
in the car
well,
on the way up to the show. It's like, man, nothing against the Who, but none of us were like compelled. Like we were just like, I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. I'm like, all right, cool. I would take so many other bands over that. I would take your Doors is better than Led Zeppelin take over the Who is good take. I'm like, okay. There's some weight there. You could argue that. I've seen good arguments.
I mean, the Who's never can.
Oh, Surrender's done.
God, he's like, we're We can't even eat lunch now. Surrender says.
Surrender's like, all right, guys.
That's
excellent.
it.
I'm coming
That's
down
it.
here to whoop some ass.
Send me all my things.
I'm
No more
taking my
demos.
stuff back. You're done.
You
You're
guys are dead to me. Dead to me.
Surrender. This is totally just my subjective opinion. I still love you. You can listen to the Who. You can call me sometime. We can talk about it. I'll talk to you for an hour about the Who.
If you had to listen to the Who, which song?
Funny enough, Pinball Wizard. I don't know why.
That's cool.
It's the only one that has the energy to me that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And it's totally silly. Like, it's just goofy.
There's the one that we used to, there's one I can't think of the name of it.
CSI Miami. Wait,
Is
New
that
York.
God.
The
God.
Great choice.
It
Colin. You
is
could come back.
funny, like these
Thanks,
bands. It's just funny, man. There you go.
I'm just trying to see if any of the Who sucks after next.
Surrender says you can come back now. You're safe. You're safe. There's gonna be all sorts of Instagram messages after this.
Don't get fooled again. My generation, like all these are songs that I'm like they've always just been there for me. So I guess I'm like, oh. What is funny is CSI Miami.
I gotta look up the one. I gotta look up the one that I really like and see if anyone else loves
Bob
it.
O'Reilly? Is it the tremolo one?
No. It's
Derek
none of that.
Derek brought up a good point. He's like, what about all the synthesizer stuff and everything like that? I'm like, it's just never. For me, synth stuff lives in a whole different territory. Like I can listen to Kraftwerk every day. My girlfriend hates Kraftwerk, and I know most people do because it's like hard to listen to, but I love it. I'm like, this shit's great.
Eminence Front. That's the one I think is pretty awesome. Eminence Front. Awesome Who song.
Which CSI though?
CSI, West Virginia.
New Orleans. CSI, Portland. That would be a funny one.
That probably would be.
Somebody selling raw milk
All
on
right,
the streets.
you gotta listen to it. The Who was great in the moment in the 70s. Went to see Tommy with a bunch of friends. I kind of dig the idea of Tommy. You know, that whole album and the movie.
I get the idea. It's kind of like The Wall to me, though. Like, I love...
It's a put on. That's great. That's right. Someone else is listening to him in this front.
I like Dark Side. I love Wish You Were Here. I love the first record, Pipers at the Gates of Dawn. This is Pink Floyd now, right? But once you get to The Wall, and I love some of the songs on The Wall.
I always can trust Gordon. Come in. Take the heat.
In the same way that I view Tommy, it's almost so overbloated that even the moments that shine feel like if you're listening to the album in full, they kind of like get bogged down a little bit. You're like, no, like, come on.
Here's
Sean, the correct Pink Floyd take. Dog, listen, I like think about these things. I'm an album listener. I go and listen through things, and I'm like, I pull it apart.
Well, here's what and this is particularly about The Who and The Doors, right? I thought about this a lot, right? Like, why I didn't get into them as much.
Yeah.
I think that when I was discovering all that stuff, I was also discovering and learning to play guitar. And so I wanted things that were like guitar, like solos. Like I liked Cream and I liked Jimi Hendrix and I even like Joe Walsh and that kind of stuff because there was guitar that I could point to and be like,
yeah, there it is.
This is what I want to do. And I think that maybe it's different on The Who and on The Doors. And so I just kind of thought, well, that's not for me.
That's a good take.
You know what I mean? And I think maybe had I like done it separately from like learning to play the guitar at the same time when I was discovering a lot of that stuff, maybe I would be more of a fan of those things.
So I, personally, it's you bringing that up. I'm like, man, I've always thought of writing songs. And, like, obviously I love playing guitar, too, and I love the idea of, like, rocking on guitar. But I always view it as, like, a texture. Nothing better than a good hot dog. That's what she said.
You're right.
Like, 1 second, too. Let's see. I saw some funny stuff back here. We'll get back up here to Surrender. Surrender, I'm going to send you some photos of us chowing down on some thick glizzy action. Long glizzy time. All right. Gordon, me and Gordon are just, we're good today.
You guys are.
Animals is the best Pink Floyd album. When Elton John sings it. I like The Wall and everything before. But
We guess we're eating hot dogs today, boys.
Hot dogs it is.
Gordon.
Sonic hot dogs.
Sonic
from
hot
Surrender.
dogs, baby. Always
It's gonna
listen
be
to
great.
a Space Echo owner when he speaks.
It's true.
I'm gonna have a card with that on it. I'm just gonna pass that over to you. Everyone's following me like, hey, don't forget.
Don't forget the weight my words carry, son.
Glizzy caption on here. Well, yeah, of course.
Gordon said.
I think it's
Won't get
virtual
fooled
way
again.
to smoke weed and not like the Doors.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just always
We're
wanted.
gonna do it. We're gonna let's find some time throughout, between now and next Wednesday. Me and Jonathan will deep dive the Doors,
And then we'll do the Who.
I think we listen to Tommy in full.
Okay.
And we'll give you that much, right?
All right.
Is that everybody's vote? Is that we listen to Tommy in full to give the Who a true shot, or do we listen to something else by the Who? Because the Doors, I saw Strange Days, so I'm like, we'll give that record, and then maybe like the first record. I feel like you got to go first record and then the iconic record.
Fair. That is fair.
I'm gonna take Surrender's pick on that too on the Who record. What do you think we should do, Surrender? You tell me. First record and Tommy, first record and something else. I don't know any Who records by name outside of Tommy and Who and.
What's the Quadrophenia or something like that?
I think that's the one they did after Tommy that never panned out right. Like it was supposed to be there.
It was supposed to be in the
Yeah.
quad
It's kind of
sound.
like the Beach
Yeah.
Boys and the Smiley Smile record or whatever, and it
Ouch.
just never came through.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's a good. We got homework.
We do have homework.
We got homework. We'll talk about it. We'll check back in next week. We probably should go get ready for our visitors. Don't forget, be on the lookout. Some content with Jeremy, the guitar hunter.
Give him a follow if you want to as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, there you go.
Go for
Go
the
for the
S'more
best of the Who album. That's
okay.
fair.
All right, we'll do that.
So yeah, that's it. And thank you guys for hanging out with us as always.
This has been fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Appreciate
We're gonna
all
go
you guys.
play these Goldtop. No, we're not.
We're gonna eat hot dogs.
we're gonna
over
eat hot
top of
dogs.
Goldtops.
Derek's gonna be stuck on the toilet all day.
Derek's
Everyone
gonna be
who's Goldtop is
stuffed.
behind us is like, oh my god,
Derek said he's gonna be stuffed. Big old foot long stuffed.
stuffed.
Just stuffed. You gotta really.
I go back to Surrender's comment for that one. Anyways, hit like, hit subscribe.
Hit the bell.
You guys are awesome.
We'll see you next time.